Welcome to the best and worst challenge featuring Twitch chat. Say hi, Twitch chat. Hi. But we're gonna have a debate because today we're doing the best and worst challenge. And the basics of this challenge are we have to put one agent in these boxes here, for each map, the best and worst, only one. But the thing is, you can't use that agent again. So, if you said Raze was the best agent on Bind, you could not put Raze in any other box, best or worst. So this is going to be a balancing act of trying to come up with the best agents and the worst agents on each map. But it's going to be very tricky because, for instance, let's take an agent like Viper, might be, not so good on Ascent, but be extremely good on Breeze and Icebox. But we can only put Viper in one of those boxes. So this is going to be an interesting challenge. I'd love to hear everyone's kind of own lists, because when you start doing it, I think, because I tried to do it in my head first, once you start getting down to a couple maps, like, it gets pretty tricky that you're like, well, who am I going to put in this box? Well, what do I do with this box all of a sudden? Because I want to put this one here, and that one doesn't work quite well there. So yeah, let's dive in. And I'm going to view this from a kind of pro sense, like pro level games. Rather than ranked. Obviously, Reyna gets kind of a bit muddled in terms of like being good in ranked, but not in pro games. But I'm gonna judge it basically based on pro stuff. And we also have this as well, which is kind of a good tool that you might say for pro games in terms of we can go back to Champs 2022, take a look at the pick rates of each agent on each map, and kind of determine from there. So let's start off. And maybe let's just start off with Ascent and the best. Who's the best agent on Ascent? Well, I'm going to nominate some, and that doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to be there, but one nomination I straight away have is KO. I think KO, very good there. I could also see an argument for even Killjoy being on there. And this is just nominations. This isn't, done just yet. I could see an argument even for Jett as well, and probably Omen. These would be, I think, my 4 nominations. If we check the pick rates of agents on this map, Fade was at 71%. The problem with Fade is I have a feeling that we're going to want to probably use Fade elsewhere. KO is at 97%, which is very high. Omen's at 65, Sova at 56, Jett at 65, Killjoy at 47, and then, yeah, not too much for the rest. So it seems like KO would be the early favorite. And I think that this actually is one of the easier boxes to fill in terms of KO, because I think KO on Ascent, I mean, if you just look at his pick rates here, and the pick rates won't be like, oh, this one has the highest pick rate, so that's got to go in that box. But for this one, I think KO is pretty... I mean, look, his pick rate comparatively to other maps is nowhere near as high. He has by far the highest pick rate on Ascent as well. So I actually think this is one of the easier boxes. And I think I am going to go with KO, because it seems like almost every pro team has agreed that KO is kind of just needed on Ascent. It's very rare that you don't see a team pick KO on Ascent. He just fits the map very well. So I'm going to go KO. Who's the worst agent on Ascent? And I have included Harbor in this as well. You can see his little face down here. Who is the worst agent on Ascent? I'm just going to go through them. I think Harbor is in consideration, by the way. I think Harbor is in consideration. It's obviously not Fade. It could be Viper. It's not Killjoy. It's not Jett. It's not Raze. It's not Sova. It's not Omen. It's not Breach. It's not Astra. Sage is still picked. Sky is an interesting one. Ooh, but I don't think it's Sky. It can't be Sky, can it? Brim is an interesting one. Teams did used to pick Brim back in the day when we got the double stimmy. I feel like Brim, that would be too harsh on Brim to say he's the worst agent. Neon. I'm not sure. I think I can only remember one team playing Neon on Ascent, and that was Optic. And I think they tried it for one game and ditched it. I'm going to put Neon on the candidates. I'm not sure she'll win. Cypher, I actually think so. We've seen FPX play Cypher on Ascent. We've seen a few teams play Cypher on Ascent. I don't think it's Cypher. Phoenix, it's actually definitely not. Phoenix might come up in some of these, but definitely not Ascent. Oh, Reyna and Yoru. again, I feel like Reyna and Yoru will probably be somewhere here on the worst list. Is this their worst map? Feel like there probably are worse options for Yoru. And I feel like there's... I mean, with Reyna, it's kind of difficult to discern, like, what... Like, because Reyna's kind of the same somewhat on all maps. And then we're left with Neon, Viper, and Harbor. The problem I have, and a lot of you are saying Viper, I don't see how Viper isn't going to be the best for Breeze or Icebox. And I think Harbor might be worse than Viper anyway, to be honest. I'm going to leave it with these two, and we'll come back to it, I think. Because I think the worst one, we'll see if Harbor fits in somewhere else or whatnot as well. Okay, Bind. Options for the best on Bind. If we come to the sort of selection in terms of meta, Bind is here. Chamber at 35, Fade at 46, Viper at 88, Razor 100, Sky at 85, Brim at 85. So yeah, meta-wise, the choice would be between 4 here, right? We got Viper, Raze, Sky, and Brim. So it's probably not Sky. It's probably between Brim and Raze, but I think it has to be Raze for now. I mean, it's Bind and it's Raze. Like, you have to play Raze on Bind. I think we'd be doing a disservice if we didn't have Raze here. But now we have a good question again. Who's the worst agent on Bind? This is an interesting one. Who would you put that? I think Killjoy would be in the mix. It could be Phoenix. It could be Reyna. I'm more willing to put Reyna on here, I think, for Bind. I actually think Phoenix... I actually think the Molly's okay on Bind. I think it's between Killjoy and Reyna. But Killjoy or Reyna... Because Reyna, right? When I think of Bind, I think of pretty slow default rounds. I think of the defensive side wanting to stop you at a choke point. You know, close you off. Stop you at the point of attack. Rather than, you know, playing retake or whatever. She doesn't really have anything to... stop. She doesn't have any information. I think this might be my Reyna one. I'm going Reyna. Okay, Breeze. You know what, for now, I'll put Harbor there. Sticking Harbor in there. Breeze. Obviously, we have the choice of Viper. Let's just quickly check on the pro stats here. Chamber at 68, Viper 100, KO 64, Sova 100, Jet 82, and that's pretty much it. So I think probably Viper, Sova, Jet would be our choice here. I actually think that this might make our decision for us. I think it might be Sova. Because Sova is at 100% there, I think we'll probably want to put Viper here on Icebox as the best. Okay, I think that's probably made them... I mean, I could probably put Viper in here anyway. Who's the worst agent on Breeze? Right, Killjoy is definitely a nomination. Is Phoenix that bad on Breeze? Team Liquid played it and won a game. I guess Brim is a possibility. Would this list make more sense to have Raze as the worst on Breeze and put Brim as the best on Bind? Okay, I think I will go Killjoy. Now on to Fracture. Take a look at the pick rates. This is Chamber's 100% map. Breach at 85, Neon at 80, Brim at 65. We were always going to put Chamber... This is the one that I was saving Chamber for. Put Chamber in the best on Fracture. Who's the worst on Fracture? Good question. Okay, so the choices, I think, are Yoru, Jet. I'd probably take Jet over Yoru, though. Sky, Phoenix? Oh my, that's a tough choice. Other than that, I'm not sure if Sky can be the worst. Sky is like... I'm almost convinced Sky is going to end up as one of the agents of the bomb. She's just not... Like, she was either going to be the best on Bind, or she's just like, okay. You could play Sky on every map and do okay, I think. So I don't think it's Sky. And I don't think it's Jet, because I think I'd rather play Jet than Yoru or Phoenix. But Yoru or Phoenix, this is an interesting choice. I think there's a bit more for Phoenix there. With the ult added in, I think the ult is going to be the difference. The fact that there is 4 ult orbs that you could potentially just farm on Phoenix. I'm going to go for Yoru. I'm going to do it. But now, Haven. So, on Haven, pick rate wise, no one is 100%. You got Chamber at 78, who we've already used. We got Fade. We got Omen at 84. Those are our highest. You've got Breach at 66. And that's kind of it for the high pick rates. So you would think it's between Fade, Omen, Breach. So do I pick Fade for Haven? I feel like Omen v Astra, but I'm not sure the difference is like big enough to say that Omen is like irreplaceable. I think fine. We'll go Fade. We'll go Fade. And we'll bite our tongue. And now we come to the worst on Haven. Okay, so it's not Phoenix. I don't think it's Neon. I don't think it's Cypher. I've seen Paper Rex play Cypher multiple times and find success. It's obviously not Jet. It's obviously not Omen and Breach. It's not Astra. It's not Sky or Sage. Is it Brim? Is Brim truly the... Right, let's ignore... This is a good question in general. Let's ignore the rule set of this game. Who is the worst agent on Haven? Is it Yoru? Could I put Yoru, Haven, Phoenix, Fracture? You know what? It's my list. I'm going Yoru, Haven. I'm putting Phoenix on Fracture. It's my list. You can make your own list. You can make your own list. I don't think Brim is that bad. I don't think he's as good as the other options, but I don't think that Brim is that bad on Haven. But now we come to worst. And I think we have some options here. I think Neon is a genuine option. I think Cypher is a genuine option. Jet isn't. I wouldn't say Omen is. Who was it? There was a Brazilian team. Was it Nip playing Neon on Icebox? I'm not sure that they were that good at it. And then Optic tried it once, and it looked awful. It looked so bad. But I feel like for Cypher, it can't be Sky. It just can't be Sky. There is a lot of verticality on Icebox, which makes me think there must be some half-decent Cypher cameras on that map, but just no one has ever tried it, because there's no need to. So I think it's gonna be Neon. I think I'm gonna put Neon in the worst category. Sorry, Optic. Okay, Pearl. A lot of you were saying Astra, and if we just take a look at the stats again for Pearl. Chamber 89, Fade at 89. What was Astra? Astra was at 83. I think Astra, I mean, out of these options, has to be the choice. Has to be the choice. The ult is really good for retakes on B. The little recall smoke at the start of B as well, pretty useful. Astra sucks on A, pretty good. Allows you to lurk around the map and still get involved, which is good on Pearl. I think Astra makes a lot of sense here overall. Who's the worst? Is it? It can't be Jet. Sure, it just can't be Jet. I don't think it's Cypher either. Like Cypher would have, you would think, but I don't think it's Cypher. Omen, I don't think it's Sky, and I don't think it's Sage. Breach is an interesting one. Oh, there's no good option. There's just no good options. Okay, fine. I'll put Brim. It feels wrong, though. I don't know. Is Brim that bad on Pearl? Maybe I just put Harbor there. Maybe we just put Clone Harbor. We've added in Split, and now we are down to 6. To me, there's... Actually, weirdly enough, we've actually ended up with quite a few good agents on Split here, which is quite worrying. Because there's no way that Cypher, Sage, Breach, or Omen are the worst. The worst literally has to be one of Sky or Jet. Like, has to be. And even Sky was very meta on Split for a while. And, people were running Jet as well. So, when you add Split, we might need to change something around. Like, let's just take it out of this game again. Who's the worst agent on Split? Because I'm not sure it's Jet or Sky. Sova. Sova, good choice. And if we put Sova there, we could put Jet as the best agent on Breeze, which I think makes more sense. I'm doing this, and I think I'm going to go for Sage. Or, I mean, I might even put Omen over Cypher, to be honest. Omen is really good on Split. I'm starting to doubt this. I might put Omen down here instead of Sage. People seemed more content when I had Sage here, I think. Just because Sage is nice and like, oh, noob friendly. Nice little Sage. Everyone loves Sage. Oh, Sage. Wall mid. Sage. Okay. This is my list, my final list. Now, Harbor is a bit of a debatable one because we don't know enough about Harbor yet, perhaps. But this is my list. I'd be very interested in hearing your lists in the comments down below. Hi YouTube. Hi Twitch chat. Hi YouTube. Hi. Hi. Say hi. But yes, this is a very interesting discussion. I'd be interested in hearing what changes you would make to my list, or if you just go in a completely different direction and you think I'm an idiot or whatever. But yeah, this is quite a difficult challenge. It genuinely does get the mind thinking about trying to fit these agents into boxes. So let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I will see you tomorrow. Hi YouTube. Hi.